Boobies!
Boobies!
Nine. Hello.
Hello and hi.
Hi. Hello. Huh?
Oh yeah, got it. Hello.
Hello and hello.
And
nope,
hi?
and hi.
It's hello, hello, and hi, and hi.
Hello, hello, and hi, hi.
I'm hello, and she's hi.
And I'm I wish I was.
No, I'm Joshua,
And I'm Caitlin.
and this is Boobies.
Boobies. The
Ooh.
horror. I love it when you say that. Do it again.
Boo. Or boobies.
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 I just like to listen to you say it at the beginning of the
Mhm.
episodes. But yes, this is a horror movie podcast where we talk about all sorts of horror films and
Today we're going to be talking about
a comedy horror film that is called
Jennifer's Body,
2009's,
Mhm.
directed by Karen Kusama.
written by Diablo Cody, which is such a kind of cool name, Diablo
Yeah.
Cody.
That is.
And
Karen
it-
directed
what else?
Juno.
Oh yeah, Juno.
Fun. Love Juno.
And Diablo Cody also wrote that one, so I guess they're like
They're
a duo.
duo.
The film stars Megan Fox and Amanda, Seyfried.
I say Seyfried,
Seyfried.
and I've never thought to call her anything else.
It's probably that then.
I don't know if that's correct.
We're gonna go
I could just be wrong. Let's just call her Amanda.
Amanda and Johnny
Amanda,
Simmons
please.
and Adam Brody, but who plays like that band dude? Because he was like in a few other things around that same time.
Yeah, what was the? Was it
It's
like
like-
90210?
That's what it was. I
Is
think.
it that, or was it?
the orange one? No. 902, no, not 90210. The LC, the LC, the OC,
Adam-
the OC.
Oh, yeah, probably
One of those things.
that, or like One Tree Hill.
I
I don't
forgot
think
about
it's that.
show.
It's the OC. You're correct.
One Tree
Oh,
Hill
he's
was
also in Gilmore Girls. That's right.
yeah. One Tree Hill was
You're ready or not?
the one with that guy that everybody liked. The
Yeah, Chad Michael Murray.
Michael Murray.
That's right. And it had the best soundtrack. I
Did
never
it?
watched One Tree Hill. I just really love the soundtrack. Speaking of, I don't know if I ever have actually seen Jennifer's Body.
Oh, before this, really?
Maybe I did, but I thought there was an entirely different plot. So I don't know if I'm just really confusing it with another movie, because there were definitely moments where I'm like, I've seen this.
Mhm.
And then, but like I love the soundtrack.
Yeah.
And what I was talking about last week was, I mean, Panic at the Disco's New Perspective.
Mhm.
It was on this soundtrack, and I
Yeah.
fucking love that song.
Yeah, I remember when this came out, the soundtrack was pretty like it was in that time too though, like Twilight was coming on all that. So like there was really like
There's a
focus.
few shots where I was like, what in the Twilight is this?
There was a big focus on like the soundtrack being like pretty current, you know, with the times. But I remember I'm watching it. I watched it on Monday, and I also too like I felt like I was watching a different movie than I'd seen before, because there were certain plot points where I was just like, oh, I don't remember it being like that.
I definitely had like a different idea in my head for
honestly,
major. Like I thought they were at college.
And I honestly
for one thing.
didn't even remember that she
And I
was
thought they were roommates.
narrating from like the beginning. I don't know how I didn't
Yeah.
remember that. I remember that she was at the jail in the end, but I don't remember like
It
even
being-
beginning from like it all being a flashback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot. I don't know why I thought they were.
Which at one point
At
there's like a
college.
Jennifer's telling a flashback within this flashback, so it's like a flashback and a flashback. I thought that was pretty cool, but yeah, we should.
Homeboy
It was.
who
I
was-
know I remember when it came out, it wasn't received like that generally well. Like I
Oh,
think a
yeah.
lot of people tried, like really trashed it. But that's
And it got, I mean, it still has, what's got like a fucking 47% on Rotten Tomatoes, which again is not really what we're paying attention to.
yeah.
But it's, 45%. I'm sorry. Give it too much credit. 5.4 on IMDb, which is honestly kind of good considering this Rotten Tomatoes one. But it says 81% of Google users like this movie, and well, spoiler alert, we like it too.
I think it's definitely garnered a lot more. Like one of those movies that came out before its time.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It does have some jokes that, just like every sitcom today,
Did
or
not
every
age well.
sitcom, that I'm like, ooh, nope, you shouldn't say that. Nope, that's racist.
Yeah.
like ugh.
Or just even certain parts where it's just like
They drop the R word a lot.
That's right. And I can't remember. There was another part too where I was just like, oh, that's a lot. Like I know that would not be allowed today.
Some of the slang,
it would get canceled.
Yeah,
essentially.
and some of the slang terms, like it gave me like very Mean Girls kind of.
Yeah,
like just over the top. I loved it though. It was so funny because so much of it was so on brand for that time.
Imagine if Megan Fox was in Mean Girls.
She would have been Regina George,
right?
Yeah,
a different version.
And Amanda Seyfried. Well, she was in Mean Girls.
She was, and then
it's like I have ESPN or something.
What's that girl from the Gossip Girl? Blake Lively. She was actually meant to almost played Megan Fox's part, Jennifer. She almost played Jennifer.
Oh, I would have hated that.
Right?
No, it needed to be Megan Fox. She absolutely killed it in this role. And so did Amanda Seyfried. Like,
they both did.
I've never sat there and gone, okay, in my defense, I haven't like watched a bunch of Amanda Seyfried's. Like, I saw her, I clearly remember her in Les Mis, and I just hate her character because I'm Team Eponine all the way. And so I'm just like, fucking die, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, God, it should have been you. But, and then, I mean, in Mamma Mia, I did like Mamma Mia, but I didn't watch that until, like 2 years ago. And like, I don't have anything against ABBA or anything, but I was just like, I never watched that. Yeah. And then when I watched it, I was like, oh, fuck, I see why everyone is like shitting their pants over this. This is really good.
I would feel like you like musicals, right?
I do.
Yeah.
I really
so it's up your alley.
And so, I mean, I don't know. I never like sat there and really looked at her as an actress though. And then like while watching this, I was like, wait, she's like fucking doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
She's really killing it.
I don't know. I haven't seen her in anything too recently, I think, as well.
Now I'm like, what the fuck has she even been in? Who knows? Mamma Mia, Mean Girls, Mamma Mia.
My mind.
Oh, that's right. She was In Time with Justin Timberlake.
I did watch that one.
LOL.
Yeah.
She looks very different. That's funny.
Yeah. I think it was
oh, she was in Dear John. Oh, right.
She came out in a time and then like it was kind of like what's other Jennifer Lawrence, like she was like the it girl for a while, and they had like a sling of movies and now they kind of dipped out a little bit. I think that's probably what usually happens. They probably overworked themselves because they got all this new success and we're getting all these projects, and then they're like, oh, this is a lot, and then chill.
They're like, we've got some money, might as well just fucking play it chill for a while. That's what I would do.
Same.
I would be like, okay,
the goal. But yeah, Jennifer's booty. That's what I have it.
Booty.
In my
Mine
notes.
just it stopped typing. I had originally when I typed it, it was just Jennifer's bod.
Jennifer's bod. So we should dig in. Do you want to start?
Yeah, the opening shot was giving Scream.
Yeah,
this whole movie gives a lot of Scream.
There's a lot of horror, like not even references, but almost like it's paying homage almost to like the different
in a lot of
scary
tropes.
movies.
Because then there was when she's swimming in that lake, I was like, what in the Camp Crystal Lake is this?
Yeah, and then it did give that.
I feel like there was another part where
or other movies too nowadays that came out. Like there was X. I don't know if you've seen that. It came out recently. A24 film, I believe. And there's a scene of like I think it's Brittany Snow, and she's doing like a swim in the lake at a certain point. Or no, it's not her. It's actually a different actress. But there's like, then you see like a crocodile coming, and it's like really scary. But yeah. I get
and then
what you
obviously
mean, the
Carrie.
sequence.
Like, I mean, if this the prom was going to be a bloodbath, spring formal.
Yeah,
but that's like basically prom, right?
Probably. I don't know.
I feel like
a dance.
I mean, prom is in the spring.
It is. I think a formal and a prom are pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know though, because I came from a school that like literally only had one dance. It was the prom.
Yeah, I was like, I never. Well,
we never had like they didn't do like homecoming dances or like any like that. No, we had the homecoming game and whatever, but there was no dance.
Yeah, we had a homecoming dance, and I only went my senior year, but it was because every other homecoming we had a marching contest.
Gotcha.
Because it was always in October. And it was always on a Saturday, like the homecoming dance was, and so I could never go. And then it
just didn't line up.
And then I never went to any other dances until that last prom.
Yeah,
that's just expensive, y'all.
It is.
I went to some dances in like junior high. There's some very unfortunate pictures of me at those.
Same. I remember my 8th grade, either 7th or 8th grade dance. We had I think I went both years. Yeah.
I would love to see
Ooh.
little 7th and 8th grade Josh.
No, horrible.
I need to see it.
And so we have Amanda outside of Miss Jennifer's window.
Mm-hmm.
And we get that, like, what does she say? Hell is a teenage
Hell is a teenage girl.
Hell is a teenage girl.
And I was like,
she's talking
damn.
about how she's getting some fan mail. She's basically narrating and
she's like, I'm kind of the shit.
Yeah. And the way that she kicks that orderly.
Damn.
So like fucking hard.
Yeah, I was like, how the hell did she kick her that much?
Literally.
I was like, what the fuck?
We find out later how.
Yeah.
I mean, why it was that forceful.
Clearly, we don't remember any of the movie.
Yeah, I honestly didn't remember any of that.
Yeah,
I honestly didn't. And then, yeah, she's basically, it's setting up. She's about to tell us the story of how she got into this situation where she's at, basically a prison. And yeah, it opens up with, I was like, oh my God, Caitlin, because
was it Fall Out Boy poster? What?
That, and, no, isn't it? Maybe I my notes, I went ahead, but the color guard, am I speaking?
Oh my God. Yes. Shout out to that Fall Out Boy poster on the wall though. I have an autographed Fall Out Boy poster because when I was in, I don't know, it was like about this time, actually, it probably was 2009. I was leaving a Fall Out Boy show with Hawthorne Heights, who had opened for them, and All American Rejects, and From First to Last, who was Sonny, as in Skrillex. Yeah. That was his original band before he had to get like vocal
change. Oh.
Well, yeah, he had like vocal surgery and couldn't like sing anymore. And so that's how he became Skrillex. Yeah.
Gotcha. I didn't know that.
But anyways, really great concert. The outside of her window, I just have like Ohio is for Lovers in my head. This movie was giving major flashbacks the whole time with music. But I was on my way out of that Fall Out Boy concert and I looked down on the ground and there was a poster and I was like, dope, I'm gonna pick it up. Motherfucker was signed. Autographed. Like you could tell it had the sheen of the Sharpie and shit. Yeah. Like I was like, oh.
Someone dropped it.
Yep.
Oh, that sucks for them.
I kept that shit.
Good for you though.
Yep. That's anyways, awesome. But yes, Devil's Kettle, name of the place. And they talk about the waterfall that goes into a hole and doesn't resurface.
That's right.
Which was like, how the fuck?
She was like, it's either something or just very deep.
Yeah, and or just like, very deep.
It's either a portal to a different dimension or it's just very deep, which I'm just like, how does that? I mean, later we see that knife did eventually come out.
And the balls that they had put in prior. So like, and so it's like, you telling me that in Twister they had the technology to put little trackers in the tornadoes, but they couldn't track
so where these balls went. They're just like, we're going to drop them and see where they come out.
Yeah, like, where are you going to go? Like, that's the dumbest shit. I was like, y'all didn't what?
It's 2009. Ugh. That is
Twister
hilarious.
was out before then.
Really?
I think.
90. Yeah, it was.
So
I think it's the 90s.
They could have done
Twister's
that.
a good movie.
It is.
But yeah, we have.
But yes, then we're at the pep rally.
The pep rally, and we see Jennifer.
She's spinning the flag so incorrectly.
It
is so wrong. Oh. I mean, it's really not that wrong, but her hand technically should have been placed under whenever she was. Yeah. I mean, she just had a wrong hand placement.
Gotcha.
If I was teaching her, I'd be like, you're wrong.
Hit
and
her
I'd
with
stop
the flag.
rehearsal and be like, no.
Get out.
Exactly. Get off my floor.
Eat shit.
You're not here to,
Eat shit,
little
Carrie
kid.
White.
Yeah.
Casey Wright.
Get out of here.
And so she's...
other thing. Sorry. Homeboy Chip is on the drum for people who can't play drums. That's
what
like
does that mean?
The ones who aren't good enough to be on snare or not. Okay, that's so wrong. Forgive me, every percussionist ever. Typically the people who people do front ensemble like and like so marimba and all that stuff. Yeah, pit.
Yeah.
Or they're on the drum line.
Yeah.
And then so there's the drum line and the people who make snare, which is really fucking hard to do.
Yeah.
And then some people choose to be in the pit because that's what they really excel at. But then a lot of the times the ones who can't make the drum line, they'll have them like go like press a soundboard or something. But then in the stands, they'll give them that little drum and it's like a kind of like a,
oh, I know what you're doing.
Almost
like a drum pad.
Practice.
It's a drum pad.
Yeah, basically. And it has a specific name, but I was like, the boy's not even on a real snare back there. Like,
poor Chip.
Yeah. Anyways.
He's doing his darndest though.
He was. Poor kid.
Yeah. And then I think she's talking to Chip at a certain point, right? And he's not he's he's not gonna hang out with him about something.
Yeah, they were so basically her and Jennifer asked her to go to this
right,
concert.
the concert.
And she's like, wear
Low
something
shoulder.
cute. Yeah, to go see Low Shoulder. And she's like, I totally saw their MySpace page and they like rock. And I was like, yeah, MySpace.
She says the lead singer is salty or something like that.
Yeah, she calls him salty.
She uses salty as like people are hot, which Amanda has to explain later on, I think, right? Yeah. Which is, why salty? But okay, I get it.
Yeah, I was like, I never had heard that term, but okay. And then, so then it flashes to her getting ready and Chip's on the bed. And he's like, I can see like your front butt.
Your front butt.
Is what he calls it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, but I can basically see your womb. And I was like, LOL, that's funny.
He's so funny.
I loved it. And then she is explaining what salty means. And she was like, salty means like beautiful, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, salty means beautiful. Well, then you must be soy sauce.
He's so sweet.
He is. And I was like,
this
what
whole
a
movie, he deserves
smooth line.
Justice.
He does. He's so, yeah.
Isn't that it's like he starts and he takes his belt off, right?
When they're starting to make out?
Yeah.
Oh, probably. Yeah, I mean, homeboy had the biggest heart on for Needy. Also, why was she called Needy?
Her Needham.
Anita.
Her last name was it's something. Needlemar? Not that.
I can't find the fucking full spelling of it.
Well, I don't
right
know. Because her name was Lesnicki, was it not?
Lesnicki.
I don't know why they were calling her. I think maybe she would just call
Anita,
her
Needy.
Oh, I guess.
Maybe she was just Needy.
Her name's Anita. Yeah, so that's why they were like Needy. But I don't know. I feel like Megan just gave that to her as like a mean pet name. Like you're needy.
just being fucking mean.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because I feel like that's kind of what the beginning of her character kind of gave. Especially like whenever they were at the pep rally and she's sitting on the bleachers waving at her and that girl's like, you're a total lesbian or something.
You're total lesbian gay.
Yeah, lesbian gay.
That's what she says.
Yeah. And I was like, coming from the chick who looks like total lesbian gay.
Yeah, I was like, girl, you're lesbian gay.
You're like the head of the LGBTQI club. Oh my gosh.
Love it.
But yeah. And so what my notes were I was looking at the cast names. Yeah, so they're making out whatever, and then she gets like her little spooky Sixth Sense vibes, and she's like, "Oh, Jennifer's here," and he's like, "That's weird. How do you know that?" And they go out downstairs, and that's whenever what did she say? It smells like
Thai food.
It smells like Thai food where y'all pork
having sex.
Yeah, having sex. Yeah. And then she has like a little banter with Chip, and then
she's just like, you're Jello. You're totally lime green Jello.
Yeah, I'm like, who says that?
Yeah,
I felt like parts of these movies were also like, like like when adults try to like speak for kids in a
so
text
hip.
or something. Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah.
Or like they use like the cucumber emoji like incorrectly, being like, "Can you bring this home?" And it's like a cucumber emoji. Or like when parents. Or LOL is lots of love.
Lots of love. I've never heard of that.
Oh, yeah.
LOL. Lots of love. Oh, that makes sense, though.
Yeah, it does.
It really does. That's very sweet.
This morning I was saying that I couldn't, or I was like, my stomach was hurting. And I said, maybe it's because I put like chia seeds and fiber in my smoothie now. And I had ACV. I was texting Andrew and I put ACV. And he was like, what is ACV? He was like, annual contract value. Like, and then he was finally like, fuck, apple cider vinegar.
Yeah. I honestly didn't even think
no
about
one
that.
abbreviates it that way.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but don't text and drive. But I was driving.
Apple cider vinegar. I hate apple cider vinegar. It's so gross.
Yeah, it made me want to throw up for a few minutes.
And so they go to the show. They go to this bar. I forget the name of the bar. Did we get a name of the bar?
Yeah, it was like, all I can think of is Henry's Hideout, which was the bar in
but basically,
my hometown.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
We get to this bar, but also, why is it in scary movies that like children are at bars, like in small towns? Like I'm just like, why are there like underage people at the
just
bars? I don't
in.
get it. Like yeah, high schoolers.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's very casual and they chill there all the time. Maybe because it seems like it was kind of half restaurant-ish, but I don't know.
Yeah, there were like tables,
like and maybe people eat, but I don't know.
But it's not like a diner.
Yeah,
or
it's
something.
a bar.
Yeah.
Specifically, and so
they kept calling it a club.
Then we have Chris Pratt, who I was like, what? I did not remember Chris Pratt being in this movie.
Yeah, me neither.
He looks so young.
He does, little baby face.
Mm-hmm. And basically, it's like the whole theme of this, or a tie. What's the word I'm looking for? Basically, throughout the whole movie, you're just getting like Megan's. What's her name? Jennifer's hot. Like everybody wants Jennifer. Yeah. Everybody thinks Jennifer's hot. Amanda's character kind of plays like this
geeky side chick.
Yeah. Who's like in the shadow of her, and also Jennifer is kind of a bitch, and she's not like necessarily the best or nicest person at all. And you kind of think like, why are you even her friend at a lot of points? But also
they've been friends forever.
Yeah, they have. But even whenever they first met at the end,
it also is like gaslighting.
Yeah, gaslighting.
Like, I feel like she's wrapped around her finger. Totally was lesbian gay for her, unknowingly.
Yeah,
and
especially later when we have that scene between them, like it's definitely. I feel like
how are you kissing back right now? You literally just saw her like murder someone.
She loves her.
Yeah, but
I feel like also because they've been friends so long too, and that's like her only friend. It seems like not necessarily just best friends, because it's like it'd be different if that's your best friend, but that's like literally her only friend.
Yeah,
it seems like,
other than Chip and Colin.
Yeah. Which doesn't even seem like that's her boyfriend one, and then like Colin seems she's just like I have that one class with him. And callback, he was in Haunting of Connecticut, and he was also in Scream 5. Scream 5, is he? Who was in Scream 5? I don't know, but I was looking at, because I was trying to figure out, I was like, who is this bitch? Well, I think he's also been in something else that I've seen as well. I know I've seen him before. He was in Nightmare on Elm Street, the 2010 version. The remake. Yeah. Oh, he'll be in Smile. I want to see that. Really? He was in The Cleansing Hour. He's in a lot Scream of 5. Who was he in Scream 5? I don't know. All right. Well, I'll have to look at it later. And so they're talking to Jennifer. All the boys are kind of talking to Jennifer, but that's when we get Jennifer seeing the bar on stage. They're prepping for the show. I think he might have been the dude that got murdered that we forgot about, the dickhole. Oh, no. Yeah. Vince. Yeah. Vince Schneider. It's just because it didn't necessarily have a lot to do with the plot other than he was Stu Macher's nephew. Yeah. And Adam Brody was also in Scream 5. Which maybe that'll come up later. Really? Mm-hmm. Who is he? I don't know. It just says Adam Brody. That's right. He was in Scream 4 as well. He is a cop. He's a deputy. Oh, that's right. He was. I think we had the same discussion about what fucking show he was in on that episode. Literally. He made a second appearance. LOL. And so she goes to talk to the Adam Brody, actually. Speaking of, good segue. She goes to the band and she's talking to them. And she's just basically trying to be flirty, and she's going to tell them she's going to get them she's acting get them a so drink. Dumb. Yeah, she is. And she's going to get them a drink. A red, white, and blue shot. Oh, that's right. It was a 9/11 tribute shot. And you have to drink it real fast or it turns brown. It turns brown. And so she goes to get the drinks, and that's whenever Lesnicki ends up going by like a pinball machine or something, and she's overhearing the band, and they're talking about how like they think that Jennifer is a virgin, and that they said, look at her, she's a State Fair butter princess. Yeah. And it reminded me of the Croak Queen. Oh yeah, from the Hook. I know what you did last summer. What you did. Speaking of Hook, Captain Hook. Simmons' hand. Oh, what happened? J.K. Simmons' hand and J.K. Simmons' hands? Johnny. Who's that? The teacher. Oh. I totally forgot about that. J.K. Simmons, not Johnny Simmons. Yeah. No, I Johnny totally Simmons forgot about that. Him. Yeah. J.K. Simmons. Yeah. He had the actor. The teacher. Mr. Robalowski. I was like, also like, why does he have a hook for a hand? I wasn't expecting that. I think that was just purely meant to be comedy. Yeah, I think so too. Stylistic choice. And so I keep wanting to call her Amanda, but I mean she is Amanda. Amanda overhears it, and she tells Jen like that those guys are gross and like whatever. She totally heard them talking about her and that they should get out of there. But then obviously the band starts playing, and it's like almost like she's in a trance. Yeah, it was really weird. And the way he was singing made me want to punch him. Yeah, it was so gross. And they're totally giving that like alt indie band vibes. Had the eyeliner on, had the like red 2009 ties. Very 2009, which was very Fall Out Boy. Yeah, all that was the popular stuff. I mean, that was that Paramore, era Warped of their Tour, look. All of that stuff was all that time. And so what though they're playing, and that's whenever we start to see this little flame beginning and start flickering, and then which also too it like starts and catches fire and a blaze, and the place starts going
up. The place goes up in flames really fast, so quickly.
And I'm trying to think, like, also too, like, did the people not notice like that quickly? And also too, once they did notice, like, people were just like, okay, it's on fire.
It was like behind the stage, and it looked like an electrical malfunction, which I'm like, did they start that on purpose?
I know, that's what it also gave like very like demonic like intervention.
Yeah,
like it gave like
their path was being chosen,
literally.
Yeah, and because then it like started going over the beams, the rafters. Yeah. And the guy was like, ooh. And thankfully the bartender like kind of started freaking out. Oh, he was like, what the fuck? And then he was like, oh.
But it was too late at that point.
Yeah, it was too late. The place went up really so fast. Quickly. But I was just like, I guess maybe lots of people flung their drinks onto the ceiling and it was doused in alcohol.
True. Maybe.
So I don't know.
All those bottles. And so the place goes into flames. It starts like falling apart, and that's whenever Lesnicki and Jennifer go through the restroom. They do get out through the bathroom window, and that's whenever they're out there. And the dude from the band is like giving Jennifer a drink.
He's like, want to head somewhere safer, like my van?
Yeah.
No.
Creepy vibes.
Nothing about that sentence is good.
Why are we going into a van?
Also, how the fuck did he get shots for them and have beer?
And so. Like, and he's like, you should drink this. She's in shock or something like that. Yeah.
He just calmly walks out with like 2 shots for them, some beer. Like, no.
Yeah. And so they clearly are like, they caused this, and then they're asking her to go, and she's gonna go with them. And that's whenever Endless Nikki is like, you're gonna get in the 89 rapist or something like that. The van.
89 rapist is. She was like the model of the van. 89 rapist, or she. That's what she says to Chip when they're talking. But yeah, she's like, you're not like, don't do it. And then she's like, it's fine. And then she was basically like, shut up or like get in. And she was like, I'm going. And this is where I really liked this line. And Needy says, her narration says, he was skinny and twisted and evil like a petrified tree I saw when I was a kid.
Yeah, I saw that. I remember that.
And I was like, there's the way I have dated motherfuckers exactly like that.
Just like that.
And they were evil. They were to
the core,
evil.
to the root.
Fuck them.
It was
to the root. It
was such a funny exposition, because it just like kind of comes out of nowhere, and you're just like, when
I was like a petrified tree.
It was so specific, and then you get the shot of like the little kid looking up at the tree. It gave very like Willy Wonka, like if that makes sense. Whenever he's having like his inner monologues.
Yeah.
And so we have she's on the phone, you're right, with Chip, and she's like freaking out, and then she hears a noise downstairs. Because we don't
someone knocks.
That's right. Someone knocks.
Bump, bump, bump.
And she goes to check, but no one's there.
Cheese and fries. And I was like, I've always said cheese and rice.
Cheese and rice? Oh.
Like Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Cheese and rice.
Yeah,
sounds very similar.
I've never heard of that, but yeah. And so she, nobody's there at the door. We obviously kind of see like a little shadow of something behind in like the kitchen or wherever they're at.
So we know someone's in the house.
And she goes to do a further inspection, and she finds Jennifer she goes to like check because the water faucet is like dripping, and then as she turns around, Jennifer's there, and she looks messed up.
Yeah,
she's drenched in blood.
Just
like pretty much
face
that.
bruised. Yeah, everything about her, like, she looking rough.
She does.
As if the McCrispy couldn't get any better, Bacon and Ranch just entered the chat. The Bacon Ranch McCrispy, available at participating McDonald's for a limited time. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
She looks really fucked up.
And she's not saying anything. She's just like staring at her.
Yeah.
And then just starts smiling.
Acting very weird, and you see the blood all on her teeth.
Blood-covered teeth.
Which I was just like, she's playing this role so good, too. Because I'm like, she literally gives a range. She gives feral.
Yeah. She is walking around, kind of, like when they say bear crawl at school.
Yeah.
She's like, she runs like that at one point, and it's like, ugh.
And then she goes to the fridge, and she pulls out a chicken, like a whole chicken. I love how
my mom got that at Boston Market.
I'm not supposed to like eat that. Yeah. She's just like tearing it up on the floor,
and then she roars,
and then pukes up like this black goo, I guess.
And it looked like, what was that, venom?
Yeah, because it started like
spikes and shit.
I was like, oh, I didn't remember that. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I remembered her probably like vomiting blood or something, but as was my memory, but not black goo that did this. It gave me very, I don't know if you've seen like sci-fi movies like Prometheus or Aliens or stuff like that. It like gave me that type of vibe.
And black goo being thrown up always gives me demonic possession because that's
what they do.
typically what it is.
Yeah.
And then she just sits there giggling.
Yeah.
And it's like, ugh.
And you can tell Lesnicki is just like, I don't know what the hell this is.
She's in shock.
Yeah. I would be too. I'd be scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
I probably would have stabbed her already.
She ends up just running out the door. She
throws her around like a little bit of a rag doll first, and like she pins her up against the wall, and she's like kind of like
sniffing her.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Are you scared?" And she was like, "Yes."
Yeah,
and then she throws her against the wall.
Poor Lesnicki. Honestly, she didn't do anything to deserve this. And then Jennifer is gone. And then the next day we have them. It's school time.
Yeah, and she comes up. Earlier in the movie she had called her Vagisil, and then now she calls her Monostat. She's like, "What's up, Monostat?" And it's like, damn.
Yeah,
those are both like for like Vagisil and Monostat are both for yeast infections.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So she's calling her like a fungal cream.
Vaginal cream.
Like a vaginal cream.
Yeah. Vaginal fungal cream.
Okay. Oh God.
So mean.
Yeah, I know.
What?
But they're best friends. That's how they talk. That's how she loves her.
Nope.
And so that's how she gaslights her.
Yeah.
And so we have them back at school, and obviously Amanda Seyfried's like, "What? Are you okay? Like last night you obviously looked like shit and you like barfed and you did all this crap."
Yeah, and because she just kept being like, "What?" And she like held up her, at first she just was saying like what's wrong? And then
like,
Jennifer was like, "What's wrong with you aside from your obvious surface flaws?" And it was like, fuck.
She's a real bitch.
And then that's when she holds up her nails and they're like caked in blood because she spent all night scrubbing.
Yeah.
And then that's where a racist joke ensues. So
yeah. And we're getting all this exposition because like Jennifer's basically pretending like nothing's happened, like nothing's wrong, and Jennifer's like also like Amanda's like, the people died last night, like there was a fire, and she's like, "Who died?" And she's like, "Everybody." we knew everybody.
Anyone we knew.
She's like, "Everybody, we knew everybody," and she's like, "Sucks to be them." So we have, and that's when I think the teacher, right?
It's when he walks up and got his metal
with
hand.
his little metal hook, and that's when he's telling everybody that there was unfortunately a fire and it killed some students, some parents, and that's basically his whole stint. And what happens after that?
So basically after this stuff, she's mainly I think we just flashed to the football dude sitting there crying.
That's
because
right.
I'm assuming it was Chris Pratt's character.
No, it was the dude. She said hi to him at the bar. He was in his little varsity jacket.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But that was his best friend.
And so I guess he was the star linebacker,
Jonas.
I think. Yeah, he's crying over Craig is his best friend, and Jen comes up to him. Well, first you see her walking at him, and then he kind of looks away, and then she's like right next to him on the other side.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh shit, this bitch.
She got a little powers.
Yeah,
because at certain points she can walk really. She like runs fast or like takes off. Like she's just gone.
Yeah.
And the way she like jumps at certain points, like from out of
like
Lesnicki's window.
Yeah, exactly. She's got some definite supernatural powers.
And she's telling him that she's sad over Craig, and she was like probably the last person to even talk to him alive.
Yeah, and she was like, and you know what he said?
Yeah.
He said we would have made a banging couple.
He's like, he said that. And she's like, let's just, what did she say?
She said, this is what Craig would have wanted.
Let's go and do something.
Yeah.
But the way she says, I forget it, but I thought it was so funny.
Whenever they're making out, she does say shutties instead of shut up.
Oh, does she?
She's like, shutties.
Shutties?
Yeah.
No.
And I was like, oh, what?
And then we have all those, which I didn't understand really though, like Snow White, all the animals coming up to watch, but I guess that's demonic. I don't know how that was demonic.
Yeah, I don't, because none of them were like, if it would have been like all crows or something, like I would have been like, okay.
They were cute.
They were. It was like little fluffy bunnies and little deers.
They came in twos, so that was interesting. Maybe I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but they
Noah.
Yeah, the arc. She ends up basically disemboweling the boy.
Yeah. Oh man, and she's jerking him off while asking about Craig too, which was like, no.
Yeah.
What?
She says, what does she say? I don't even remember, but yeah,
I just remember
he's like really taken aback, and then that's whenever she pushes him, and then we get him just screaming in like the middle of the woods, and the teacher with the hand is just like, let it out.
And then he's like, wait, this sounds it's going on a little too much, and it sounds a little well, obviously, but it sounds like in pain,
danger.
Yeah, not just like sad screams, wailing.
Yes, and then at that same time, we have Needy is making sandwiches. And what is it, a bologna sandwich, right?
I guess.
Yeah, it's a bologna sandwich. Yeah, it's.
It looked gross.
It was
like just mayonnaise or something
and bologna. And
she was
grilling. She was pan-searing it. I've never been a big fan of bologna anyway, so I just wouldn't eat bologna.
Same.
Now I for some reason want to try bologna though.
I try vegan bologna, veggie bologna.
I feel like my taste buds have shifted here recently, so I feel like I don't know, maybe I'll like it now.
Maybe.
And then some of it falls, and she's a ferret. I feel like that if that's not really anything to the plot, but I'm like, oh, there's a ferret. Remember the little white ferret?
No.
She had a little white ferret, and then like a piece of the sandwich falls on the floor, and then like the little ferret.
I must have been.
It.
I think I was trying to type too many words.
It's not a long shot.
Okay.
Like it's just a little ferret on the floor.
I thought you said she ate a ferret at
no,
first. And I was like,
she
what?
didn't eat it. No.
This
is Needy.
That?
And then so at the same time, between this, we have the teacher, and that's whenever he's walking in the woods, and he finds Jonas's body, and it's like literally like disemboweled, and there's like deer or fawn, something's like licking its
it was a deer
intestines, his guts.
Which I'm like, aren't deers vegetarian?
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Or omnivores, or no, herbivores.
No, herbivores, yeah. But because they eat like berries and stuff. I don't know. Actually, what do they eat?
I don't know.
Venison. And so the school now is pretty much like, I guess it's kind of, does it fast track a little bit, or she narrates that?
It goes back to her mom and her talking, and I liked this scene just because some funny shit was
Amy
said.
Sedaris,
yeah, and she was like, I had a dream last night. I dreamt they tried to nail you to a tree, and she was like, just like JC, and then she does the sign of the cross.
Yeah,
and I was
which is kind of foreshadowing-ish, because like it's kind of like what happens to Jennifer, not necessarily a tree, but it was a rock, but they did like have her tied, and they were like, impaling her. Yeah, and
then she goes, but I didn't let them get you because I'm a hard ass Ford Tough mama bear. And I love the Ford Tough description. When I was getting my sternum tattoo, someone was looking, and they were like, damn, she's built Ford Tough.
That's hilarious.
I wasn't. It hurt so bad.
You did it though.
I wanted to die.
You sat through it. You are Ford Tough. And the school gets famous because of everything that happened. And the band, like Low Shoulder, like their song is like the band is now basically thriving after what happened, and they what's the song, Through the Trees or whatever, it's like their unofficial anthem for everything that the school has been going through, because they had that fire and all the students dying, and then
they were playing there, and they were known as the heroes for helping people get out. But they didn't help anyone get out.
They did not at all. They pretty much caused it, I'm sure.
And actually murdered someone on top of it to get famous. And
that's whenever we see Jennifer, and they're in class, and Amanda's like, you look tired. Because she does.
Yeah, she was looking pretty rough now.
Because we find out that unfortunately she needs to feed on human boys, or not necessarily human boys, I'd say just flesh. Yeah,
she just needs to feed on people.
Yeah. In order to
regain
stay beautiful and
power,
basically,
and not look like
invincibility and all that stuff. Like she glows and she looks like the best that she does, but when she is hungry, she's weak. One, she's killable. And then she is looking like shit.
There was some other parts before that too. That just the lines were so funny. And so that was where the Camp Crystal Lake happened, because she was swimming through that fucking lake.
Oh, that's right.
Think, anyway, my naked ass body would be in a lake.
That happened right after she killed Jonas. That's right. Which also too, like, why is it in schools in movies sometimes. Maybe it's just Twilight movies. Where I'm like, why are they all next to like woods?
Woods,
like
yeah.
I don't feel like that's usually where schools are.
My entire school was surrounded by woods.
Really?
Mm-hmm. The
That's crazy.
only like way you could see was the entrance.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
See, I feel
Now
like
I don't think it is, but
Okay.
10 years ago when it was built,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm sorry, I've been out of school for 10, so 14, 15, 17, 16 years ago when it was built. I was
Yeah.
the third graduating class.
Yeah.
It was at least like that.
Mhm.
But
just feel like that's just a problem.
yeah,
Stuff can happen.
small. I guess it helps just like small town. It
Yeah.
give it that feel.
Mhm.
But then she's like on the phone with her boyfriend or she was on the phone with fucking Jennifer at first, and she calls it a white trash pig roast. I think the fire in the place, and I was like, oh my god. And then yes, it switches over to Chip, and his little sister's like, you're a penis cheese, and I just laughed so much at that.
When she's playing the little thing.
Yeah,
That's right.
I needed to say that. But then this is where it does flash back to her, and Jennifer lights her tongue on fire, and then she says, I'm a god, which I feel like is kind of important, so you can see that she can heal
It's
like
invincible,
remarkably
basically.
fast. Yeah.
Mhm.
That nothing, I mean, she's literally holding a lighter to her tongue.
And
Something
this was
should be
right
happening.
after she fed on Jonas.
Mhm.
So she's super like, yeah, you're right. I can't believe I skipped all that. I was really into the movie, honestly.
Yeah.
When I was taking my notes are a little spaced out.
Yeah. She looked, I mean, and then after that she looked hella good, because she was basically being like, at this point is when they were like saying like everyone was like awful and sad and depressed and stuff. And then Needy says, well, almost everyone. And then it pans in on Jennifer in that like pink little cropped hoodie with the big pink hearts.
Walk.
Yeah.
That's right. In slow-mo.
And then she was like, you know, everyone else is doing fine, but like not, I mean, not doing fine, but she's doing like, she's looking like
her
hella
best she's ever
good.
been.
Yeah. And then she was like, and I mean, everyone else like freaking out because like our linebacker was made into someone's snack pack is what she said. And I was like, oh my God.
A lot of the writing on it is like, there's so many one-liners throughout
They were
the
just
whole
so
movie.
good.
There's so many. It's like everything had a punchline, you know?
But yeah, that's when they're in the class though. And that's where the teacher announces that this band is going to donate 3% of the profits from this song.
Their single.
Yeah.
To help them. And that's like whenever Lesnicki's like, what about the other 97%? And that girl who was bitching at or was mean to her at the beginning of the film is like
wearing a low shoulder shirt.
Yeah. And she's like, they're basically
they're heroes.
They're heroes. Yeah.
And she was like, no, they're not. They're literally evil. I was there that night. And she was like, we need them. And then she was like, that's not true. She was like, it's on the Wikipedia.
That's right. I'm like, girl. Ooh. Anybody can go on the Wikipedia, switch it up. But that's funny because actually that's for a lot of people their basis of reality.
Yeah.
If it's on Wikipedia, well, then it's got to be true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can anyone can add to a Wikipedia page. I mean, obviously, eventually it will get taken down if it's incorrect.
Editors or stuff.
But like Wikipedia doesn't have like a bunch of funding. Like that's why they're always sitting there asking you for
at the top.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, I'm not going to donate to you. I'm sorry. But like
never. I use you all the time, but I don't know if I'm not going to donate.
Yeah, no.
And so
but yeah, she's looking real rough too.
She's looking rough.
And she was like, really what are you PMSing? And she said PMS was invented by boy run media to make us seem crazy, which I was like, yeah. But then also I am very emotional. Like
there's a lot of commentary on like that throughout the movie. Even the whole movie itself, it seems kind of like a big FU to like just men in general.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But
it does.
like,
I mean, she's literally killing
killing boys. Yeah. And so that at this point, I think that's whenever Colin, right? He's asking, is he ask her out on a date?
Yeah. Yeah. He's saying basically, can I take you to a movie? And he was like, a movie next Friday. There's a midnight showing of Rocky Horror Picture Show.
And she's like, I'm not into boxing movies.
Yeah. And I was like, no.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
And then as they were walking off after she turns him down, because basically whenever she says that, he's like, you know what? No, like, it's Rocky Horror Picture Show is not a fucking boxing movie.
Yeah.
And then Needy's like, why would you say that? And she says, he's into maggot rock and wears nail polish. My dick is literally bigger than his. And I was like,
yeah,
just because he wears nail polish.
Well, that's her character though. She's got to be mean.
Yeah, it's true.
She's
so
mean. She's a mean succubus. She's a demon. And so yeah, she turns him, or she's like, no, but that's whenever she's like, you could just come by my place.
She says, I have Aquamarine on DVD.
It's about
a girl who's half sushi.
Literally. I was like,
She's
that's
a
hilarious.
fucking half mermaid.
She's half sushi.
I love that movie.
I remember that movie. I don't think I ever watched it, but I remember it for sure. It had JoJo in it, did it not?
Oh yeah, I think so.
JoJo and like Emma Roberts and that girl who's blonde. I know it. I know her name. Sarah something, maybe. But anyways.
Oh yep. Emma Roberts, Sarah Paxton.
That
JoJo.
chick. I've not seen the movie, but I knew all three actresses in it.
That's impressive.
Literally not seen it though.
So I was like, I don't fucking know.
And so,
but I have seen it.
She's like, I'll text you the address later. And so we have them setting this up, and I think something's happening between this, but I just remember that he's on his way to her place, but it's obviously not her house, because it's like this, I don't know if it's probably not abandoned, but like a up and coming neighborhood, I guess, right?
It's clearly under renovation.
It's getting built. Yeah. So
and there's only like a faint light from a top window. And in between it, what's happening is that Needy and Chip are going to fuck.
That's right.
So,
I'm like, I know something's happening in between this. There's two things. And so yeah, they're getting all freaky. And
his scent was Jam and Jasmine. He says it was so awkward. They're like sitting on the bed, like scene beforehand. It was so awkward. And then he was like, the scent is Jam and Jasmine. And he was like, but my mom has holiday scents too, if you like want that. Like,
he's very sweet.
He is so sweet. It's so awkward.
And so, I mean, they're high school students.
Yeah, it's true.
It should be awkward.
It should be, yes.
And we have Colin showing up to this place, and obviously he's kind of like, wait, this don't seem right. But the way that he still is like, you know what, I'm gonna go for it, because he's thinking he's gonna get some.
Yep.
Yeah, he breaks and enters, and he gets up to the attic, I guess, of this place, and there's like candles everywhere and a little boom box. And
my closed captioning was like singing the song, like giving me all the lyrics of the song, even though I couldn't really hear it.
Yeah.
And so it was just very funny to see like all of that
coming together,
happening with
what was happening with
funny,
Chip and everything, and the whole scene. And then we have him turning around, and Jen's there, and he's like, "This isn't really your house, is it?"
She's like,
I don't remember what
something
she said.
Like caught me or something.
Yeah. But yeah, basically it doesn't really take too long, because she ends up, he cuts himself on like a tool or something.
Yeah, because she starts like coming on to him, and she kind of knocks him back, and
he cuts himself. She's like, "Oh, fresh blood."
She's like, "Puncture wound."
And she sucks it or something, right?
Yeah.
But then she right after that, she says something to him. What did she say? I don't even remember. But she breaks his freaking arm or hand,
and you
twists
see
it
her
back.
eyes like now she a lizard, because her eyes looked very reptilian.
Yeah, that's right.
And that was when he was like, "Oh fuck," and then she was like, "Yeah," snaps his fucking little arm.
Poor guy. And she's going to town on him. We don't see it because we get like the tarp or curtain or whatever, like giving us just the silhouette of it. But it was a pretty cool shot. You see her
like mouth unhinged,
which happens. Yeah.
Yeah, we saw it with Jonas.
Yeah. She's got a big mouth, and you get these like demon tails. It's almost like Pennywise.
Blade. Oh, Pennywise.
It's giving me Pennywise.
Yeah.
Blade. Oh, Blade. Yeah. Like the vampires. Yeah. The Blade 2, like the bald vampires.
Yeah,
like
I think so. I think those are ones.
Their mouth opened up really wide.
Yeah, it did. It like
unhinged. And yeah, and at the same time that this is all happening, we're saying how Chip and Needy were getting it on. She's like, I don't know how she's tethered somehow. Yeah, exactly like that. She's tethered to Jin in some way. I don't know how, but she's
I feel like it doesn't really. Has she bit her already?
No.
Or did she bite her originally whenever they were at the house?
Maybe. I felt like that had happened only. We'll have to rewatch it. Maybe it does happen. I thought that happened during their fight.
Yeah, I thought it did too. But then I was like trying to figure out. I guess maybe she did just legit have that freaky like sixth sense about her though.
You're right, because she'd already
Maybe they were soulmates, like traveling souls.
Yeah, because whenever at the beginning she was like, "Oh, she's here."
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I don't know, but she was basically kind of
senses were tingling.
Because she's having visions because she's seeing blood like fall from the top and she thinks it fell on her.
Yeah,
falls
in
on her
my mind, I
face.
was like, oh fuck, like. Did she kill him like in their attic?
It's happening
and
upstairs.
like his house is just halfway built or
Yeah.
something. And then that light in the window is actually his room, but like no one else is home. But no, it wasn't that. But that's like
I can see where your mind might have went there. And yeah, she's kind of freaking out a little bit as they're going at it. And then he's like,
because then she sees Jonas's body in the corner and Jennifer's perched up behind him.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's very spooky vibes. And that's whenever he like pulls out and she's like, "Am I too big?
Am I too big?" And I was
so
like,
funny.
"Boy, you can't tell that she's scared."
Literally,
She's
yeah.
like,
it's funny though because she's having this like freak out panic moments, and he literally thinks he's like putting in work.
yeah, because he was like, "Okay, yeah, she's feeling this," but then it's like, "Oh no,
she's literally
no.
having a panic nightmare.
Yeah, she's freaking the fuck out right now."
Mm-hmm. And so, Jen, after the whole incident with Jen and the dude and Chip and Needy,
I put, damn, he got a snatch waist now. Because the way he was laying there, like it looked like he had some big hips and then a little waist, but that's because she took a giant chunk out of the side of his body.
She did. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember looking at that too. Oh my gosh, and I was thinking, oh, it's giving very feminine, like.
Yeah, it looked very curvy.
Yeah.
I was like, he got that snatch waist.
And after this, I guess she leaves him because she like leaves in a panic and crying, and he's like, I guess poor Chip is probably thinking he did something terrible.
Yeah.
Or like fucked up, and then
like, shit, did she not give consent or something?
And then she left, and she's driving, and she ends up seeing Jen come out of the woods like an animal. Mm-hmm. And then she like swerves, and that's whenever she's like kind of looking around, and she just freaking jumps on her like windshield and cracks the windshield in on her poor mom's car, and she just like hops off like nothing, and then runs away. And then we have Needy getting back home, and Jin's in the,
I was so afraid
bed,
mom
right?
was gonna be dead
whenever
she was because she like looks for her mom first, and then she like kind of falls asleep, and that's where we get this like this flashback gave me very Twilight. As it was happening with the whole scene that had just like occurred with Jennifer. But then that's when she kind of comes back to it and is like, I'm gonna go upstairs and go to bed. And she gets in bed
and Jennifer's there.
But she doesn't notice until Jennifer said like she says something.
Yeah. And I'm like, how did you not notice that there was someone else
a
like
whole
there?
ass person in your bed?
Literally.
Like that wasn't a king?
Because like, but but anyways, and so they're in the bed, and that's whenever, I mean, Needy's obviously like just like what's going on, and Jennifer that's whenever she's like, I want to explain things to you, right? Or after the whole right before that.
And she was like, is that my Evil Dead t-shirt?
Yeah,
I liked it.
They have that whole lesbian scene, don't they? Yeah,
she like gets real close to her face and is
she starts coming on to her.
And then Needy kisses back.
She does.
And then she lays her flat.
And for a whole minute. And that's whenever Needy is like, wait, what's going on? What's up here? And that's whenever Jen's like, I want to explain some things to you. Like, what happened that night?
Best friends don't keep secrets.
Yeah. She's like, that night I got really messed up.
She was like, that band,
they were
really
totally evil.
She was like, they were like agents of Satan with awesome haircuts.
Yeah. And we're flashing back to her being in the van and what we didn't see. And they're all talking, and she notices that there's like an occult book and like all this like
a skull with like
Satan shit,
hole in the top of it,
ritualistic shit, I should say. And then we have her kind of having this not like she's talking with them, and they're saying that she's a virgin. She's like, I'm a total virgin. Like I don't even know how to do the sex. You should get someone who can. And she's thinking that this will save her. Yeah,
because she's thinking she's going to get raped, assaulted. Raped.
Yeah. Sorry, R word. And that can have you demonetized on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Was it saying the R word? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I mean, it's triggering.
Yeah. And so we have her just kind of like not pleading, but she's like, she knows like, oh shit, this song's bad.
And it's so sad to like see her actually like fighting for her life. She did such a good job in this scene. Like when she's sitting there crying, I was like,
because they get out of the van. She tries to kick one and get away, but the main dude crouches her, and they like put her on a rock, and they're explaining like they're doing this because they want to get famous. It's real hard out there for indie bands nowadays, and
there's too many of them.
They want to be like Maroon 5.
Yeah, because at one point the guy's like, I don't think we should do this, and he was like, do you want to be a loser, or do you want to work at this coffee house forever, or do you want to be rich and awesome like that guy from Maroon 5? And he was like, Maroon 5.
Yeah, literally.
And he found this fucking ritual online. He has like a printed piece of paper from the fucking, it's probably his mom's printer.
Yeah.
Like
they're amateurs. It's amateur hour, and they end up going through with it. They end up stabbing her pretty brutally.
And while they're doing it, they start singing.
Oh, Ginny, that song.
8675309.
That number song.
And it's like, I would have smashed their dicks in the moment I came back to life.
Yeah.
I would have been like, where the fuck are these motherfuckers?
Honestly.
And I'm like ripping your dicks off, and I'm going to shove them down your throat, and then also cut it in half and put it up your butt too.
Give it to them all. But
and then
she had other plans, I guess. But also she came back as a demon. I don't think it was necessarily like.
Yeah, maybe she had a contract
succubus.
And couldn't also go kill these now people who have a deal with Satan.
Yeah.
But if I was Satan and made a deal with someone, I would be like, I'd send someone to go kill them. So that way, like, sense. I don't really have to hold up my end of the deal. And then I also get their soul.
Make a deal with someone else to make a deal, and you have like a never-ending loop of people just killing each other. And yeah. You should go apply to be Satan.
I'm gonna get right on that. Freshen up my resume.
We have them. We get all this happens. We get to finding out that that's why everything happened the way it did, and she ended up not dying. She came back to life. And
he threw the murder weapon down
that hole,
the little devil's kettle thing.
And so, the thing though is that she is not a virgin when they sacrificed her, and so she comes back as this demon, and that's why she is needing to feed on these men, and she's loving it, and just murder in the town. All the boys are dying. There's basically
and it was sweet whenever she said, I woke up and I found my way back to you, and I was like, right. Oh, that's like, and then she's like, I didn't kill you, like I'm a good friend, and that's where we found out Amet had actually survived the fire, but she
was her first kill,
which is why she looked really great the next day,
which was after I guess she left Needy's house that night. And so she needed a feed,
and she tells her, when I'm full, I'm unkillable, and that's where she stabs her.
That's right. She cuts herself to like show her like how she heals. So Needy's like, you need to get out because this is a lot. Yeah, you need to go.
Because then she's also starting like, she starts like gaslighting her, and she's basically saying like Chip is having second guesses about you.
Oh, that's right.
And stuff.
Yeah.
And
she's like, oh, he's been looking real like a snack or something lately. Yeah. It's like, don't go talking about her boyfriend.
Yeah, and exactly. So, it's like.
Yeah,
no.
She tells her to go. She leaves. She jumps out the window like a freaking agent of Satan. Yeah, and then
or Twilight,
and like a vampire. And we have then the next day at school, Needy is telling Chip. Or she's looking up. She's looking it all up.
That's right. She's doing her paranormal research.
She's looking up like everything that's happening, because at this point it's also been like a few weeks or something since her and Jen had talked, because we get them looking at each other from whatever.
And she said it was like a few weeks since she had really talked to anyone. So she like kind of completely recoiled from life. Yeah. And was like,
because Chip was like, I got her tickets to the dance or prom, whatever. And she was like, we're not going.
Yeah. Yeah. And I liked how he told her to he's like, did you make the reservations at the Cheesecake Factory? And I was like,
who makes
the most 2009, like, that's the
place to be. That's popping.
That was like the prom choice for my high school. Like that was our food choice. That was like the best thing we had. My group went to PF Chang's, but but yeah, like I was like, funny. That was like the restaurant of that time. Everyone was like the pinnacle, like
we went to Barris,
epitome of that would have been so fun.
And so we are where we at? Oh my god. Oh yeah. And so she's looking up and that because I guess their library has an occult section, just like I was like Carrie's library had an occult section, like
all these libraries.
High schools.
Yeah, I'm like, now I want to go see if any of these high schools around here have one. But yeah, and so she basically makes Chip come with her afterwards, and she's like, listen to this. And basically she's like, Jennifer's evil. And he's like, I know.
But she's like, no, she's evil.
She's like actually evil. And then she like basically gives us the rundown of everything she had learned, and that what had happened was demonic transference. And it's like what happens when you try to sacrifice a virgin that isn't
not a virgin.
Yeah, it's an impure sacrifice is basically what she called it. And then like one of the only ways to stop her was to like a blow to the heart or
a blade. Put it in the heart like a vampire. Also very Twilighty.
Yep.
And so she's telling him all this, and then he's like, "You need help. You
and
sound
I
a
was
little
like,
crazy."
Boy, fucking believe her, because basically she's trying to say like, we can't go to that dance. It's gonna be an all-you-can-eat buffet.
Yeah.
Like she gets stronger from eating these people.
And I mean, I don't blame him for not necessarily believing her.
I mean, yeah,
like,
that's kind of a stretch.
Kind of wild.
But also with all of those random murders happening of someone being like completely ripped to shreds.
It's true. And all boys.
Yeah, I would have been like, and so I don't know. And
and then he's kind of like, no, we want to go. So that's kind of forces her to like break up with him, basically, so that way they don't go together.
She's like, because she was like saying we can't be together, and I was like, actually, y'all being together is probably the safest option, and it would have been.
I would have, if she would have had him together with her the whole time, we might have wouldn't have survived. And we have her then getting ready for. Yeah,
Chip's getting ready
the prom already, because he's still going, but I guess they're just not going together.
Yeah, they're just gonna like kind of meet there.
I don't get it. Yeah, I don't know, because they weren't. I don't know,
because she was clearly looking for him. I was confused whenever she got dressed up. I thought he was just gonna go because he'd bought the tickets, and he was like, "I bought your corsage. It was like $12."
Yeah, that's right. And I think she she was going just because she's like, I know he's gonna go, so I need to go protect him. Yeah. And so anyways, we're getting ready for all of that.
New perspective is in the movie.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. And we have him taking pictures with his little sister. We have her in her like 80s
fucking dress. I was like, what is
probably
this?
Her mom's.
The 80s?
Yeah. And so
she did look really pretty though.
Yeah, and she actually goes to the dance, and she gets there, and she's looking for him. She's looking for Jen essentially, but neither of them are there. And that's whenever Chip is walking through some park, I guess, to get to the dance to the school.
Yeah.
And
his little scarf and suit. I was like, oh, what a 2009 thing to do.
Ends up finding him.
Yeah.
And she's talking to him, and she's basically saying she knows why Needy's been so like distant and all this, and it's because her and Colin were hooking up.
Yeah, we're
like
intimate.
Boning on the regular or semi-regular.
Yeah, and they were doing like pro moves or varsity moves.
Varsity moves.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's basically just trying to hurt him and get him to not like Needy, so that way he'll like, sleep with her.
And then she said like, I care about you a lot, Colin. She says, more than I've ever had the guts to admit. And it's like, boy, you questioned, Jen being evil and shit, but then now you're automatically going to question your partner of a long ass time who really like, clearly, she was obsessing over something.
But I think she also has like a certain trance whenever she starts talking to the guys.
Yeah, I think she's, if she is truly like a succubus, but succubus are more, I guess they could be in someone's body. I don't know. They're more like ghosts. It's like they're demons, but anyways, it could be.
We'll get into the lore.
Yeah.
And so she ends up getting him to go by it. I don't know. Somehow they end up like by that tree or whatever and he is up on the ground, right? And they're like making out or kissing.
And she calls him salty.
She says he's salty, and then she's like, "Say I'm better than Needy."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Wait, what? Like, why would I do that?" And that's whenever we have Needy's at the dance, and because she has that sixth sense, she feels like the little she touches her lips because she feels him making out with her. She's like, oh crap. And so then she runs away,
and fucking that band was there.
Oh yeah, and Low Shoulder was there,
which was like, fuck you guys.
Yeah. And so then she ends up finding Chip and Jen at that abandoned like
indoor
place?
pool. Yeah, because Jen brings him into that indoor pool, and it's like, how the fuck did it get this bad?
Yeah,
there's no way it went that unkempt with like whole ass tree roots growing through the windows everything. And stuff. I was like, what is this place? And then they're like sitting there on the edge of the pool, and she's like, I feel so empty. And he was like, yeah, me too. And I was like, boy, she was talking about her fucking stomach. She about to eat you.
Literally.
Like, ugh. But yep, then she starts drowning him.
Yeah.
Oh, because he says no. He's like, I can't do this.
That's right. Yeah.
And I was like, good for you.
He loves
but also maybe you should have kissed her in the first place.
Yeah. He
but
loves
also,
Needy.
yeah.
But
his love was strong enough to break free of that
through the trance. And so she starts to try to kill him, but that's whenever Needy. I keep wanting Needy comes up, and
that makes sense of how she knew where to go. Because I was like, how the fuck did she know where to go? But she's got all this like certain tie to Jennifer.
Yeah, and so she finds him, and she sees Jin's eating Chip's neck, and he's like, and she jumps into that pool.
I was like, hell yeah, I need to get your man who did.
She dips Jin in the water, which I'm like, okay, that's not doing much, but all right, I guess.
Good for you.
She just dips her in the water,
Good
and then
effort.
she goes to check on Chip, and then that's whenever we see Jin starts like a shark, like a crocodile, just swimming real fast in the water, and she gets the Chip's pepper spray that his mom had gave to him earlier.
He's like, take this,
and she shoots it, and she sprays it on Jin's face, and that's whenever she just starts like throwing up black goo all over them, and she starts flying.
And he's like, she can fly now, and she goes, she's just hovering. It's not that impressive.
It's pretty funny.
I was laughing a lot.
And so then we have this exposition, I guess, between the two of them.
Because she gets out of the pool and she's like, you jerk. And she was like, nice insult, Hannah Montana. And this was just like a slew of one-liners here.
Just going back at it with each other. And then at a certain point, she's distracted. And she's saying something about,
because
like,
she said some mean things.
She said some mean things, and that's whenever
she's like, you've always been a shitty friend, and like you know, even when we were younger, you took my toys and stuff, and then she goes, and now I'm eating your boyfriend, at least I'm consistent. And then she was like, okay, yeah, but like this was all when you were relevant or something. She was like, I was snowflake queen, and she said 2 years ago. And she said all this was before, like when you didn't need to take laxatives to stay skinny. And then
she's digging at the little things that make her that push her buttons.
Yeah. And then she says, this is where she says, she goes, she's coming towards her, like kind of licking her lips. And she was like, I thought you only eat men. She goes, I go both ways.
Yeah.
And I said, we love a bi queen.
We do. And then,
but then, yes,
that's where she got a little distracted. And then Chip ends up like stabbing her with a pole.
Yeah.
Like right in the middle
of
the
those
tummy,
swimmy,
basically.
Clean sticks.
Yeah.
Gets the leaves out of the pool.
And, she gets stabbed, and that's whenever she's like, you got a tampon?
Seems like you might be plugging.
Yeah. And she ends up just literally just kind of walking out, literally,
pulls it out.
like nothing.
I just kept yelling in my head, plug it up, plug it up.
Plug it up, literally. Shout out to Carrie.
Yep.
And so we have Chip basically dying on the floor. Poor thing. She's like freaking out. She's trying to get the phone to work, but obviously it was like in the water.
He was in a pool.
It wasn't going to work.
And when he said, I think I was already dead, and he goes, but I woke up when I heard your voice, and I was like,
sweetest thing. Yeah. And then she's like, I love you, and he's like, I love you, and then flatline.
Oh yeah, and he says, and you totally look hot in that dress.
No, she was like, you're clearly delusional.
Yeah, delusional. Oh,
he
it was really
blood
sad.
Loss. Yeah, he's
I don't know if I was feeling just extra emotional today or something, but I almost cried.
No, it was very sweet.
I almost cried.
It was very sweet. It was a very nice moment, especially because he was such a like genuine. Like, it was kind of funny because he was such a like actual good guy. You know, like he was a decent guy.
Yeah, he wasn't doing anything.
He wasn't a douche at all,
other than like falling under her spell, but like he got out of it.
Yeah.
So that says so much.
And so Chip's dead. Needy jumps through the window. Not through that window. My bad. Needy leaves, and that's whenever. And
this scene, when Chip died, that was the scene where I was like, damn, Amanda Seyfried is like killing this acting. Her wailing there was like, fuck.
Pretty good actress.
That was good, yeah.
Or at least in this movie, she was killing the role. And
but yes, sorry.
So after that, we have Jennifer's back at her house.
We're flashing back to the beginning scene, basically.
Oh, you're right. That was the beginning
where they
scene.
saw her, because that was the opening. She was walking up. We were seeing through Needy's eyes.
That's right.
And we see looking in through the window. And so she, we come right back.
Together.
And
Needy just jumps through the fucking window.
Try to ambush her, I guess.
I died whenever her body just literally just goes through the whole window.
It looked like, remember in that one movie where that guy built the dolls to, like with those little kids, and they ate the poison cupcakes that we covered.
Dolls, poison cupcakes.
And kids. They like murdered the dad and the mom. Oh wait, no, the mom got up. Fuck.
What?
It was a movie we covered. You suggested it.
What
It was like
movie?
a home invasion one where they went. Remember, they followed that little red string out to this weird like tea party in the forest.
Oh,
And you remember when he threw that
yes,
the wooden doll mom through the window?
It's
It gave me
him.
that.
Or there. Yes, it was a weird title. Like, don't.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember what it was.
The dad rolls off from the top of the house. Remember?
Yeah, and they're
Oh.
like hearing him. Like, I was so afraid the little kids were going to hear him die. I don't remember what that was called. He's out there.
He's out there. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was like, it's something like that. He's out there. And then we have
Sorry,
her
though.
fighting
It's so funny.
with Jen. And they're basically going at it, and then Jen starts levitating again.
Oh,
and
and when she pulls out the fucking box cutter,
oh yeah,
she's like, "Do you know what this is?" And she was like, "It cuts boxes." And she goes, "Do you buy all your murder weapons at Home Depot? Gosh, you're butch."
and they end up levitating, and she ends up being able to stab her in the heart. Well, not before ripping off. This is what it
BFF.
was. She rips off the BFF necklace off of Jen, and I think that's what kind of like,
Connected them.
and I think Jen also too at that moment had like maybe like a undemon moment. Like she was like, "Oh shit!"
This is
like,
her. Like,
yeah.
I've lost my best friend because I've.
It gave very like, have you seen X-Men? Like Jean Grey, like kill me, like I'm the Phoenix now. I'm
Yeah.
no longer. I have no control. What's like mercy kill, mercy kill me
And when
now.
she did successfully stab her, and like when she died,
And her like
she was
every
like
demeanor,
glowing,
and her
yeah.
demeanor like
she looked
went
at
back.
peace,
Mhm.
yeah,
And so she ends up stabbing her, and she's like, "Ugh, right in the tit,
yeah. And she
or
goes,
my tit, yeah."
and she goes, "No, your heart."
And then then the mom walks in, as Needy's just
Yeah.
literally over her with the knife, and she just like pulls the knife out, and the mom's freaking out, and Needy's just there, just like next to the body, like I'm done.
She got her revenge, and I mean, also dealing with the fact that she just had to kill her best friend,
Yeah.
and I mean that's a lot. Who that
And,
she was also like pseudo in love with, who knows? Lots of emotions going through her.
And then that's basically we get back to where
Oh,
we
and
are
that was
now,
where
present
we
day.
think she
got
possibly
bit,
bit her. Yeah.
And we go to now present day, and she's in that holding cell that we saw her in the beginning, and she's levitating, and we get to find out that, like, you know, sometimes if you get bitten or whatever by a demon, you can get some of their
absorb
powers.
Some of the power, yeah.
And she ends up breaking out, and
She levitates. She levitates to the top of the solitary confinement window. But don't worry, it's not that impressive.
yeah,
She's
gets
just levitating.
just that, and then like busts through the like chain metal fence.
She just kicks her way through fucking everything. I was like, hell yeah. I loved it.
and then we have her getting picked up by a hitchhiker, and
Not before she finds where that little everything releases, because she finds the murder weapon as she's walking along
oh yeah,
with
that's
the little
right.
balls.
With the balls, that's
Yeah.
right. Apparently, it just in the low shoulder, it
Yep.
came out in the gully, and we have her getting picked up, and then he's like, "Where you going?" She's like, "Oh, I want to go see this rock band."
Even the way he says, "Hop in my chariot." I was like, he looked like he was gonna murder her.
Yeah, that dude's been in a lot of things.
I thought he
just
was gonna kill
can't
her.
name it, but yeah, she ends up going, and we get like a post credit scenes where the band is whatever living their best life. Yeah, and they're in some hotel, and then we have her showing up, and then it becomes a murder scene because she kills all of the boys.
Room 922. And when she got picked up by that dude too, he goes, when she's like, "I'm following a rock band," he goes, "Must be one hell of a group."
And she's
And
like,
then-
"It's their last show."
Tonight will be their last show. And as they're just driving off, you get a low shoulder sign too. And I was like,
All the little ties and
things.
details.
Yeah.
They make the movie.
And I really liked the murder, like the murder pics, crime scene pics that were the credits. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, it was a way to like keep it in there, like adding to the story without adding like another 15-20 minutes to the movie.
Yeah.
You know, because that's what it would have been.
Just flashes. I mean, they were
We
doing
get what
lots
happened.
of cocaine too.
Yeah.
So
We get
I'm sure
what
that's
happened.
probably what was happening in their eyes anyways. And then so flashes, and she's probably blacking out too. So it was good. I liked it. Good little montage that ended the movie. Nice little bow. She's out there.
She's out there.
She's out there.
Literally. She's still out there today.
She is
She's living her best life.
out there killing people, levitating.
It was
Maybe she's not killing people no more. She got
no,
her revenge. She's just
probably.
levitating.
Yeah. It was and the movie was like overall pretty much like a smart commentary on like pop culture, sexism, how the media portrays women, how there's just like so many little like tie-ins
Yeah.
throughout the whole movie.
And just very clever.
And it's clever. And the person who wrote it and the director had a very kind of clear perspective. I feel like we can appreciate now.
Yeah.
Whereas before, back in the day, like when I first watched it, I was like, I guess I just didn't really connect all those dots.
Just like, I mean,
and I
like,
was younger. It's different when you're older.
Yeah.
You know,
there's so many, like, when we went back and watched Scream again, I was like, yeah, I definitely didn't. I was not mature enough, or like, I didn't know enough to appreciate this.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
we
so
got wiser.
Yeah. You have to, like, it's not one that I feel like you can just watch once or something. I mean, you can, but if you're young, like if you watch it when it first came out, probably you would have been like, this is goofy, just like Cabin in the Woods. Like, it's very like, oh, what?
There are layers, and it's pretty, it's a lot more like critical thinking if you actually like, you know, there's a lot more beneath the surface than just like,
and I think a lot of people tend to like comedy and horror don't seem like they should mesh because it's like, oh, why are we making light of such a terrible situation or something? And so I think a lot of the times in people's minds, that just doesn't make sense to them. So then they like can't comprehend it and then therefore don't appreciate it. And so.
Yeah, I can see that. It's, but also, to add to that, I guess, it's like they should be even more together because it's like that's how you cope with horror. Yeah. It's the comedy part.
I have to like I've got very dark sense of humor. So, and then that's
and
the
people
only
who
way.
wrote this did too.
Like that's why I listen to like comedy true crime podcast because the fact that it's broken up with little jokes in between, they're never about the people, or maybe maybe it's about the killer or something, but it's never about the victims. And it just kind of makes me be able to absorb it and not like focus just because I've tried to listen to a few true crime podcasts. Like there's Sword and Scale. That one I got like 3 episodes in.
Yeah.
Or maybe 5, I don't know. But one of the very first episodes on that podcast, I was like, I love true crime. I listen to true crime stuff all the time.
It's just too heavy.
Yeah. And it had like a warning at the beginning. Like if you are like faint and stuff, or like, you know, if you get
Trigger
sick
warning.
easily or easily upset, like maybe don't listen to this. And I was like, I'm fine. And I was driving home. I had to pull my car over because I was like almost dry heaving. I was like in tears because it was about like this guy who cannibalized like infants.
That's crazy.
And he like, it went kind of into detail because there was like a chat group, like an online like chat forum for people who eat and prepare babies. And so it was like going into detail about how to cook a child.
Sounds like some witch shit.
Yeah. I was very like, I was also like very mentally unstable and not medicated at all at that time, but that was just a lot to take in. And so I literally had to pull my car over because I was about to throw up in my lap. Yeah. And then I couldn't see because I was crying so much.
So no more of that.
Yep. And so then that's why I have to listen to horror ones or comedy ones because I can't. It's too much and it makes me so sad. I empathize like too much and I just
you feel it.
Yeah.
Well,
can't do it. But anyways,
time for some B ratings. Let's see. I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
3.5.
3.5. Yeah. I feel like I've been giving a lot of those out recently, but at 3.5, it's a solid 3.5 for me.
Yeah, I feel like I've just been giving a lot of 4s.
You can give whatever you want.
I don't know.
It's your show.
Going back again, I was like, I really do like this. I mean, as a horror film, I really did enjoy
aspects. I think, but it's definitely not. Yeah, it's more camp.
Yes.
Horror.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Like, because I wasn't as upset with like some of the, like whenever we did see her face open to eat Jonas, the linebacker, that was like, okay.
Yeah.
That wasn't the best.
Yeah.
But thankfully it was such a short flash and they didn't keep repeating it.
And they didn't do a lot of CGI apparently. Some of it was just like more just like them adding prosthetics and stuff to her face.
Well, that's really fucking cool then. So, I mean, and then like I liked the tarp scene, but behind whenever we see the second time of her like face opening. But yeah, I don't know. Part of me in my brain, I was thinking 4, but then I just don't know. I enjoyed it. I would watch it again. Yeah. I'd 1000% tell people to watch this movie.
Sounds like a 4.
Yeah. I'm going to give it 4.
Give it a 4.
I really liked it. I love the soundtrack. The acting in it was like really good. Now I'm a Amanda Seyfried fan.
I think Megan Fox did a great, phenomenal job.
Yeah, now I have more respect
because it was so believable.
Yeah,
like the whole time,
she
like,
was.
her character is like that was her. That like I don't think
she
that's even
it.
Megan Fox is not
acting.
a person. Like Jennifer Check is a person. Yeah,
because that was like it was 1000% her. She did a great job. Now I have more respect for her. Wish I would have paid more attention to her when she was on the little floor.
Yeah, she got blacklisted and like kind of dealt shady with the whole movie industry.
Oh.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, like, because she was in Transformers, right? But then, like, she got into a fight with Michael Bay at a certain point.
Oh, right.
And so then he was just like, nobody worked with her. And then after that, I guess she got labeled as too difficult to work with because she was a beautiful woman who, like, actually spoke her mind.
Yeah.
And was just like, no, stop sexualizing me.
Yes. I mean, and clearly she's a good actress. So, I don't know. Yeah. And then now, of course, she's swept up with MGK. And
that's right.
I just don't like him. Personal opinion.
I don't even know. I don't know the boy.
I don't know. I just remember
it's very Keke Palmer.
I was very confused whenever he like was a rapper and then like tried to diss Eminem, and it's like, why the fuck are you coming for Eminem? And then all of a sudden switched to pop punk, and I was like,
he's going where the money is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I was just like,
well, wasn't the last name?
He probably sold his soul to Satan. Oh my God, I think sacrificed Megan Fox.
Probably. I think the title of his last album was like something Sellout or something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Probably.
But anyway, this is not an MJK or whatever podcast.
I saw him. I mean, he did fly in on a big like fake pink helicopter, and that was pretty dope from behind where Megan was sitting. Oh, and she had beautiful lime green like snake pants on, and she looked really hot. She looked just as hot in person, you guys.
Oh yeah, because you just saw them. That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Jennifer's Body, you guys. Jennifer's Body. Join us for our next shows. We're going to be covering the Fear Street trilogy. We're really excited about that.
Obviously, starting with 1.
Yep, we're going to be starting with the first one.
Yay.
And I think that's the one that's called 1994, 96, 94. I'm pretty sure it's 94 because I remember being like, oh, that's my birthday.
Yay.
And then, once again, we're in the lovely Rogue Media Network studio. If you want to check out,
great care of us.
Yeah. And if you want to check out our podcast or any other podcast, you can check them out at roguemedianetwork.com.
Or you can listen to them on any of your favorite podcasting platforms, biggest 2 being
Spotify
and Apple, where we got some new reviews. So wherever you do listen, really please do rate, review, and subscribe, because whenever we read every review, there's not a lot.
We have 10.
Yeah. And it was so sweet to like read new ones. I was like, oh my God.
That's
I
awesome.
freaked out and I texted you like immediately that morning.
It was like 6 in the morning or something.
Yeah, it was. I was checking. Yeah, I knew you were up because you were at work. And then that's just like normal time for me. So I was like, oh my God, we got 3 new reviews.
It's exciting.
It was.
It's always fun.
I was very happy. So it does mean a lot to us. So please do rate, review, subscribe wherever you do listen. And if you want to talk to us, reach out and let us know your thoughts on, did we talk about how someone had reached out from TGOG saying that they were from Waco, and when they heard we were from Waco, they messaged us on Instagram.
Not on here. You think you told me
I think we
outside of
talked
here.
about in person. Yeah. So someone like from TGOG, they heard it on there, and I mentioned I was from Waco on there. And so then they came and they were like, I'm totally going to binge your podcast now because like I'm from Waco. Yeah. And I was like, oh, how cool.
Connections.
Yeah.
And
so reach out to us on Instagram at
Bazoo. Boobays Podcast, and that's BOOBAES because we're boobays, not your boobabes.
That's right. And until next time, you guys.
Bye, bays.
Bye, bees.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.
Hey, Cricket customers, Max with ads is included with your Cricket $60 unlimited plan at no additional cost. Nice! Max is the streaming platform where you can watch Scoob, Meg 2 The Trench, The Nightmare on Elm Street collection, and so much more. Remember me. Just log in with your Cricket username and password to experience Max on all your favorite devices.
We've never seen this before.
Max, the one to watch for a good scream with Cricket. Phone plan streams in standard definition. Programming subject to change. Fees, terms, and restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.